What up, what up, what up? Welcome back to the Free Smoke Podcast. We're back in action this week. We got a special surprise guest straight out of Alaska, straight out of California, straight out of Michigan, straight out of the Amazon motherfucking jungle.
Straight out of Costa Rica, straight out of Bali.
Straight out of just everywhere. Mr. Wanderlust himself,
straight out of your mom's house.
Damn.
We got our boy in the building.
Yeah, motherfucking Casey. This dude's been living life lately, to say the least.
We got our boy in Club QHQ.
What's up, Free Smoke Podcast?
Hey. So I guess before we dive too deep into other stuff, Casey, just give a little background on yourself, what you've been up to, because you live life in one of the most different ways out of any human being that I personally know.
And I'll just say, if you guys know who Crocodile Dundee is, envision if Crocodile Dundee lived in 2020, and it would be this guy right now. Lives the coolest life out of anybody I know. And if he was super handsome. Yeah.
Man, if only. Well, where should I even begin?
How'd you get into traveling so much? What inspired you to go down this route?
Well, I mean, honestly, when I was in college, the only thing I lived for was parties and girls, and got myself in a lot of trouble. Used to get in a shitload of fights. I did some stupid shit. Got arrested. Brian already knows.
He was 9 times.
He was with.
Every time we had to get in Casey's car, he had to blow in the thing. Then it turned on, and then we can go somewhere. We could go to the gym.
Yeah, straight up. I did have a breathalyzer in my car for 4 years.
Dude, we were roommates in college, and we slept in the same bed together.
We did. We certainly did.
It was a huge bed. Don't worry. It was two queen and a California king attached, and it was this massive bed.
Yeah, it was like a giant.
It was a twin.
It was a twin.
Yeah.
And we would pretend like girls would come over, but they never did.
Yeah. They never did. They would come over. They would come over and they'd be like, "Wow, this is all your room," and I'd be like, "Yeah, this is all my room." Well, there's 2 closets. It's all my clothes. We wore the same clothes.
Big ginger sleeping next to us in the bed.
Yeah, he's homeless. He comes here every once in a while. I'm just looking out for gingers mainly. They live hard lives.
Yeah. So you guys had the typical college experience to the max.
I wouldn't say typical.
Yeah, we heightened it up. We did way too many drugs and
had too much fun.
But what got you into the traveling aspect? Because a lot of people do that and then they just go live a normal life after that.
Bro, to be honest, I was living for highs when I was in college. I was just I had to be fucked up on something all the time. It was coke, drunk all day long. It didn't matter. So when I sobered up, it was where can I get stimulation? That's not.
Yeah, where can I chase that high?
Where can I get that high that's earned? Not. You take drugs and some drugs are cool and whatnot, but it's an immediate high. That's what everybody's searching for. But, it's kind of that adrenaline kick you get from, I don't know, if you're afraid of flying, you hop up in a plane and you're taking off, your heart starts thumping. That's the kind of shit I live for now because I can't do hard drugs or drink anymore because I'll fucking die if I go back to that life, for sure.
Yeah.
So, I just bounced. I took a one-way flight with my cousin who was also an ex-drug addict, and one-way flight to Australia with maybe $1,500 in my pocket, and just fucking made it work. I mean, me and my cousin at one point, times got so tough where we were literally stealing tuna cans from gas stations so we could eat. But that's what we just had to do whatever the fuck
you had to get out of there.
Yeah, we had to get out of the U.S. Both of us were drug addicts, so living by our drug dealer, we're not gonna stay sober very long.
Yeah, so. Exactly.
So I just got addicted to that lifestyle, not knowing where I was gonna sleep or where money was gonna come from or anything like that. And one thing led to another, and eventually I found myself in Alaska, where I've created a career, and it's the best place on the planet.
And what's the career's doing?
Well, wait, let's talk about the journey to the career. Let's talk about how you got into photography, and then you went to Costa Rica, and then you traveled to all these places, and then you did the tourist thing.
Yeah, so I'll backtrack a little bit.
That part's sick.
As I was saying, me and my cousin, we were broke as shit in Australia. Me and him were literally sleeping on jetties with fishing poles.
What is a jetty?
A jetty's a dock. Okay. That's what the Aussies call a dock. I need to bring this up a bit. How do you do that? There we go. All right, so
we got a couple big boys in the building.
Yeah.
Put the 2 giants next to each other with one mic.
All right, here we go.
Sorry, we cuddled before.
Hey, don't talk to my man that.
Yeah, dude, easy, back up. All right, so where were we at? Yeah, so
here's mine first.
Me and my cousin were literally broke as shit, living on docks, sleeping on the beach. I mean, we were fucking roughing it, but we were like, we've got to do something. I mean, we were literally homeless at one point. So we hopped on Craigslist and we were just looking for jobs. Well, I was looking for jobs. My cousin was just swiping away on fucking Tinder. And funny thing
looking for a place to stay that night, though.
Yo, for real. I mean, I had a girlfriend at the time and I was being loyal, but he was just staying at girls' houses. So I'm sleeping out on the beach. But anyway,
he's just like, fuck you, bro. I'm gonna go chill. I'm gonna go find some sheets and a bed, bro. Like, chill.
bro. So back in the day,
you're like, all right, man, I'm loyal.
I'm loyal to my girlfriend.
I don't blame you.
Do you guys remember when Tinder had group Tinder where you could like link up with another dude?
No.
Bro, apparently, all right. So
Hey, Tinder when you could link up with another dude.
no. I don't mean like that.
Tinder poly.
Yeah, for real. That's
Bro, I mean group Tinder. Like you would share an account. Like say me and Zach would share an account, and we'd be like, "Yo, we're going out to this club tonight. Who wants to meet up with us?" Well, my cousin did that and wanted to meet up with some chicks at some nightclub in Australia, and I was like, "Dude, we don't have any fucking money. What are we gonna do? Like, we can't buy them drinks. We can't buy ourselves drinks." I mean, I don't even.
We're trying to stay
one of us
sober.
are drinking.
Yeah, we're trying to stay sober.
So I'm like, what are we doing here? Anyway, we end up meeting up with these girls at this nightclub, and neither one of us are drinking, and we're just chilling with these girls, and you know, we're small talk bullshit. And they're like, I was like, what do you guys do for a living? And they're like, we work on a TV show. I was like, oh, sick. Like videographers or what? They're like, no, we're on the TV show. Like they're straight up actresses, and they were fucking hot as hell too.
Believable.
So, you know, I was just bullshitting with them. I was like, oh, that's sick. I got my performing arts degree. And she's like, oh, no kidding. I could definitely get you on the show. We always need guys. Like, we're actually looking for guys right now. And I was like,
I'm a guy.
Sick. So, I mean, I straight up lied and said I had a performing arts degree.
Yeah.
I've never done anything in front of a camera in my life before.
Yeah, you got to fake it till you make it.
Anyway, we carry on the night where, you know, it was a good time. We both went our separate ways. And never heard from him. And then like 2 weeks later, I get an email from this girl. She hooks me up with an agent. And then all of a sudden, I'm getting a flood of jobs. Like I've got a commercial. I'm supposed to show up on set to this TV show. She like took down my Instagram, showed her agent all these photos. She got me a job and hooked me up with commercials and a rebrand for a hostel chain. Anyway, long story short, me and my cousin, we were living large. We were making pretty good money over there. And we only had to work like 2 days a week. The rest of the time we were just fucking around. And that's kind of around the time that I was like, dude, I want to do this forever somehow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And we just had a hell of a time. And then I just became addicted to it. Like I came home after all was said and done. I came home to see my girlfriend at the time. She was living back in Michigan. I was home for maybe 3 months when I was like, fuck this. I've got to get out of here again. Me and her packed up our shit, took a one-way flight out to New Zealand and lived there for a year and a half. And it's kind of just been like that every single year, just like, where are we going next? And not we, because there's no more her, but where am I going next? And over time, I just fell into the whole Alaska thing. You know, I've always been big into the outdoors, wild animals.
That's as outdoors as it gets.
Yeah, bro, it is.
That's the ultimate outdoors.
This dude's hanging out with bears. Like,
Yeah.
it's like, hey, man. how's it
Casey's
going?
got
Nice to see you.
selfies with bears and
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah, we are deep as fuck in the Alaskan backcountry. Like the only access to our lodge is by float plane only. So, you know,
That's wild.
if you can't handle it out there, you're just fucked. Like, you know,
Yeah.
you have to.
Yeah, there's-
It's real man versus wild shit.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's
The
rough as
police
fuck.
aren't coming. Tell them the story about how, like, the cops, you know, took a long time because they're just
Stab
like,
that dude that
Yeah,
does that.
yeah.
So
this is how off the grid he is. It's fucking crazy.
we were at this hole in the wall bar, and I don't mean like the hole in the wall bar at your hometown or anything like that. I mean hole in the wall bar where there's not a building for like 100 miles in every direction. It's like me and a couple of my friends, and we walk into this bar, and there's just like a couple natives staring at us. There's like a couple rough ass looking white dudes. We thought for sure we were gonna get either killed or in a fight or something. We're sitting there. Everyone was actually pretty nice, and like it chilled out a little bit after we were there for like 10, 15 minutes.
Just need to feel out the vibes. Like, who are you?
The boys got drinks. Obviously, I was just there being sober. And all of a sudden, the fucking door just slams open. And this native dude comes running through the door with something like almost behind his back, and I like look over, like not thinking much of it. He takes a Bowie knife and stabs this other native dude in the back and kills him right there. Like just kills him. And me and the dudes I'm with are like, you know, we don't know even how to react. And never seen.
You're like, you're not gonna stab anybody else, or it was like a personal thing between y'all.
Fuck that guy, am I right?
That guy was talking a lot of shit.
Like, yo, we're cool. Though,
We're good, right?
I don't want no problems. But literally, the dude just left, and I mean, apparently, I mean, we got out of that town not long after that, and by town I mean like the 6 people that live in this area,
Down to 5.
and down to 5. But yeah, the cops didn't show up for like a week because there was like a big snowstorm or some shit happened. But it's literally the Wild West.
So that guy just like laid there dead.
I mean, if you have a heart attack out there, you're not gonna make it. Or if you don't have your EpiPen and you have an allergic reaction to something, you're going to die.
Yo,
like that dude from Into the Wild.
Yeah, bro. Like you ate the wrong blueberries.
Yeah, you eat the wrong blueberries. You're done for, buddy.
There's no forgiving.
GG, good game.
The wilderness doesn't fucking care about feelings.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like
that's the most gangster part about it, though. It's just like literally man versus wild. This world that we live in here, and
it's
Denver,
fucking mamby-pamby bullshit.
It's fucking
dude.
nerfed up. It's so hard to die. It's so hard to die that literally people are dying from a disease, and people are like, we gotta stop this at all costs. It's like motherfuckers are supposed to die out here.
No, they really are, and that's something that like as a culture we've forgotten. Like we don't even think of death as a real thing. You know, like it's crazy. But out there, you know, like 2 years ago, this guy and his girlfriend went out camping in Katmai National Park. Actually, it might have been more than 2 years ago. Don't quote me on that. But this guy was fucking with bears all the time. I wish I remembered his name, but he fucked with them too much and ended up getting eaten. Him and his girlfriend both got eaten.
What was he? What do you mean by like fucking with
Timothy
them?
Treadwell, that's his name.
Timothy
look
Treadwell.
up Timothy Treadwell.
Pull it up. Jamie, pull it up.
Now, don't get me wrong. This guy is like, in my opinion, like an idol because he was literally chilling with brown bears. And like, yeah, I chill with them, but like, I've got a separation. I've got a sidearm. I've got bear spray. This dude's petting fucking wild grizzly bears. Well, brown bears technically because they're Bristol Bay. That's another argument, but
so that's what you mean by fucking with. He was just like
they're big bears
with
regardless.
Literally,
he wasn't like
he had a relationship with them.
Wow,
and
like that lion guy too. You've seen the lion guy from GoPro.
Bro, that's so sick.
That's cool.
Yeah, he was he grew up or he raised all those lions, which is like a little bit different. If you raise something from like a cub,
they know you
for sure.
Yeah, if you're hanging out with wild grizzly bears, like
this guy was basing all of his information off of how he's watched them behave with each other. And you know, you can read a bear. Like you know, we can see 30 to 40 bears in a day, and you could see a bear that looks like he wants to pick a fight with somebody. I mean, it's kind of like at a bar when somebody's like bumping shoulders with everybody. He's pissed off because he didn't get laid, so he's trying to fight somebody. Mm-hmm. There's bears out there that are like that, and you stay the fuck away from those bears because I've been up close to one of those bears and been full on charged, and I thought he was gonna rip my fucking head off.
Those are the Donald Trump supporter bears.
Those are the Proud Boy bears.
Those are the Proud Boy bears. Exactly.
But yeah, dude,
that's crazy, bro.
Yeah, it's the Wild West. It's literally the best way to describe it.
So you spend 4 months out there a year. You go on these guides. You meet all these cool people. Like
yeah. So basically, how it works is we get out there late May. We're there in the bush until the beginning of October. We pack up camp and get the fuck out of there before the weather comes in.
Damn.
And every week we have a new set of clients coming through. So it's like, you know, it's not we're not completely alone. We're not as hard as those dudes and ladies that are on that TV show alone. We're not that hard. We do have some luxuries being out there, but it is different. I mean, it's a different world to live in.
No Wi-Fi. You got to use a landline phone.
Landline phone, you know, anybody that's got a really good relationship back home usually doesn't by the time they return. I mean, bro, when you're gone for 4 months a year,
it's tough to make something work.
Not many people in this industry have working relationships.
Yeah.
It's a tough.
That's hard on your wife or kids or whatever. They're like, "What the fuck, Dad?"
Yeah. But you're like at an age right now where you can explore these things and find the right person when the right time comes around. But like even outside of Alaska, you're traveling other places on those other 8 months of a year too.
Bro. Yeah, man, it's become an addiction. And honestly, I feel like if I quit doing what I'm doing, went back to a 9-to-5 job, I'd probably start drinking and using drugs again. I mean, there's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
I mean, I can feel myself.
It
when
keeps
I
the
start.
excitement up in your life.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
Yeah,
where he
that
gets that.
adrenaline.
That's
is
where he
what
gets the adrenaline, the
have to keep
endorphins, your
chasing it.
dopamine release, everything else, because you're matching. You trying to maximize that in college. Now you're doing it with positive and cool shit.
I mean, it sounds corny, but I'm trying to get high off life.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
it is what it is.
We need to
but
teach that to the Club Q kids.
Yeah, those kids are dope.
Fucking idiots.
Yeah.
degenerates,
For
bro.
real, they're just
Yeah.
fucking in Denver partying in their fucking basement listening to fucking house music.
Fuck you.
Yeah. Fucking robot music.
You gotta talk in the mic, Zach, if you
Oh,
want
no,
them to
it's
hear
all right. They
you.
don't need to hear me. But for real, what are like the what's the coolest travel experience you have, and where's the coolest place you've been?
They're not gonna hear you if you don't talk good.
The
like,
coldest,
even those questions.
the coldest, or not the coldest, the coolest. Jesus.
What's the coldest place you've ever been? And then we'll go to the warmest.
Well, let me tell you what. That weather in Alaska, cold. That weather in Costa Rica, warm.
The coolest place I've ever been, bro. I don't know. It's probably split between the Komodo Island in Indonesia and the Amazon in Guyana, which
That
is in
shit
South
was-
America. For those
The
of you that
videos
don't
from
know.
the Amazon were ridiculous, bro.
Yeah, dude, that
Like,
shit was
tell them
crazy.
some of the shit you did in the
Yeah.
Amazon, bro. Like, catching that giant snake was the craziest shit I saw.
Bro, that was one of the craziest fucking experiences in my life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay, Casey's IG's in the fucking link.
Cooper lost.
In the bio.
Cooper lost. COOPER.
Yeah, we'll tag him on the IG clips and put
And-
him in the YouTube bio.
And yes, it's the account that says hopeless romantic on the bio.
Yeah, the dude in the red hat
That's a
may
real
have had
account.
something to do with that. Hey, I need as many revenue streams as I can get right now. Corona times is tough. So I'm a hopeless romantic. What can I say?
For $100 a month.
$100 a month. I'll leave it for the rest of my life. I don't care.
Yeah, I'll probably cut it off. I'll probably cut it off after month 3.
Hey, bro, $300. That's chill.
A lot of those gift cards.
All right. What was your question, bro?
What was some of like the experiences
Crazy
you had
shit.
in the Amazon, especially like a couple of those things I'm thinking of right now were pretty wild that I saw videos
The
of.
snake, the
So-
arapaima.
So we did a lot of
Arapaima.
yeah, we did a lot of dangerous shit when we were in the Amazon. What was supposed to just be a fly fishing trip to check out an area became a conservation effort to help restore the populations of this giant prehistoric beast. This giant
Today, Junior.
prehistoric beast. It's called an arapaima.
Dude, I'm feeling this microdose way too much.
Bro,
You guys on microdose? This is all adding up. I was like, is Zach high right now? I swear to God, I thought that at one point.
Dude, I'm feeling too good right now.
Y'all are living.
All right. The what?
side note, definitely did not take a microdose.
Me either.
Sober
How many half
Sally
of
over
us
here.
did? Where's mine at?
On the table, bro. You want one?
Drugs are cool, kids.
These are legal.
These are the
in-
Club Q kids. This is what
Yeah.
happens when you don't travel the world,
Yo,
folks.
yo.
Those are cute kids we were talking about. That.
Yeah, don't judge us. Watch a fucking Paul Stamets podcast and chill.
Yeah.
All right,
get in
all right,
mushrooms
let's hear about
later.
this beast.
Back on track. So, arapaima beast.
Wait, what is arapaima?
Arapaima is one of the. Well, I'm
Bro, I'm
pretty
about to
sure
show
it's
you
the
this.
third largest freshwater fish in the world.
Oh, it was those fish you had
Yeah.
that you were holding up. I
real
got you.
big
I
sons of
remember.
bitches.
They are huge.
But the problem is with arapaima in South America is the caiman are, well, actually it's humans that have almost wiped them completely clean because their meat's really good. Their belly fat is incredible. That red spot down here, from what the natives were telling us, I mean, we never ate it because we're trying to save them, but they're saying
How
it's,
do you know
Hey,
that?
man, take that thing
yeah,
to the
well,
woods.
that's what they
natives told
said.
you?
The natives told us. But anyway, so what happens in the dry season is these things get landlocked in these small ponds. Like I'm talking, 500-yard wide ponds with
Because
fucking-
everything dries up.
everything dries up late in
the-
the dry season.
oh.
I'm talking like
So it's like they swam in through some sort of river or canal.
Back when the
and
water
then
was high.
And then it dries up and they're stuck in the little
Dude, that
pond.
thing
Exactly.
can swallow you.
yeah, bro, they're crazy. So basically we're out there to catch some of these things. I was gonna start bringing. Well, I was down there with clients, but I wanted to start bringing more clients from Alaska down to Guyana so they could experience this crazy beast. And the more people from North America that know about it, the more conservation efforts we can put into saving these animals. anyway, we're down there and we're noticing that the caiman are eating tons of these arapaima, and like we're seeing them getting killed in this pond. So we're like, fuck it, let's just scratch the whole fishing trip and let's just start catching these giant fucking caiman. And for people that don't know, caiman are like a crocodile. They look the same. I mean, they have differences, obviously.
What's
They're
like the
differences.
biggest
It's a
difference?
subspecies.
The size is like about the same though.
Um,
It's crocodile or alligator. Alligators are a lot smaller than crocodiles, correct?
and they're a lot less alligators are a lot less aggressive than a crocodile. Especially
Crocodiles are in
saltwater.
Australia and shit, right?
Australia, Africa, Central America.
Yeah, they're giant.
Yeah, they're insane.
And alligators are like the shit you see on a Florida golf course.
Yeah, literally. I mean, yeah, they'll still eat you too, though. Anyway, so what we decided to do was relocate these caiman so they wouldn't eat the arapaima, because the arapaima are a lot tougher to catch than the caiman. So we would lasso these sons of bitches by the tail, pull them onto shore, wrap a noose around their face too, and we'd have one guy in control of the tail. We'd have one guy in control of wrapping around the face. And since I worked with crocodiles in Australia, they made me in charge of wrapping around the face, and it was my idea to try to save these things.
They put you in charge. Casey, we're going to need you to take on the mouth.
No, they go,
Yeah,
hey,
bro,
who
and
should we put in charge? Is there any gingers?
Bro, and these guys have been these guys are from the Amazon, and they're like, no, bro, I ain't getting up there. Like, that's all you. So I was the dumbass that was up in the front. But what happened on one of these caiman that we were trying to capture is we were in an 18-foot John boat. So you can picture, 18 foot. This caiman, we could only see his tail. So we tie up his tail first. We start pulling him up to the surface. And he is probably 3 feet longer than the boat. And I'm like,
So he's 20 foot long?
20 foot long.
Holy fuck.
So my boy's at the back of the boat. I'm at the front of the boat, but you picture where that thing's head is. It's up towards the front of the boat where I am. And he's really chill for whatever reason at that time. So I'm like getting the noose ready, get it around his face. As I'm about to tighten the noose around his nose, he uses his tail force and whips his body up onto the boat and snaps his jaws and actually rips off part of my pants. My pants were really loose. I had like big cargo pants on, kind of like I have right now. Ripped part of my pants off. Almost took my leg clean off, bro. It was my heart was thumping.
Damn.
Honestly, just thinking about it's making my hair stick up right now. I was scared.
That's one of the closest.
Like, I've been in a lot of wilderness situations that are sketchy or like scary, but like this is a giant fucking prehistoric.
If it bit your
beast.
leg off, you're not getting help down there. You're
No,
done.
he's dragging
That's the
me
end of your
down,
life right there.
and I'm done. That's it.
Yeah.
So he ended up not getting my leg, thank God. But we end up
Did you give
dragging
up
him
on
to
him?
shore.
You dragged him to shore.
We dragged him to shore. Yeah.
How much bigger is that than like a typical one? Because if it's 20,
People think of caiman as small, including me, my entire life. I thought caiman were like 4 or 5 feet
Yeah, you
long.
thought they were these little fuckers, cute little guys like these. You thought that they're like that.
so
They're
they're
not.
pretty big. Like what? At least
They're-
12 foot for all of them.
They're a lot. They're
'Cause-
scientifically, I don't know that much about their.
Jesus fucking Christ.
That's a beast.
Bro, but you could pull up on my Instagram just to show.
I'm not allowed to until
Oh,
December
that's
31st.
right. Yeah, that's right.
Anyway,
What's Instagram?
I lose
what's
$250.
But so here's the rest of this story behind this one. I mean, the heat of it was when he almost ripped my fucking leg off. But
Yeah.
what we ended up carrying on, finishing the job. But we had to put the motor in reverse while we're dragging this thing back. And while the motor's in reverse, he's actually pulling the boat forward.
Holy fuck.
But all we have is his tail because I couldn't end up actually getting his face secured because he was thrashing like crazy. And he almost ripped my fucking leg off already.
Yeah.
So we finally drag him to shore. He's really tired. And I'm the one that has to hop on his back and close his mouth because the thing with these crocodilian species, alligators and caiman, is they can close their mouth with extreme force, but they can't open their mouth with hardly any strength at all.
That's
So
their
if you
Achilles
put
heel.
if you put like, I don't even know how much pressure, 10, 15 pounds of pressure on their mouth,
They can't open.
they can't open it.
Really?
So you can hold
What?
a 24-foot crocodile's mouth shut. I mean, as long as he's not thrashing.
Yeah,
'cause
when
throw
he's
your ass
thrashing,
off.
But
But if he's chill, you have full control over him. So you just literally you hold their mouth. We wrapped a noose around him. This thing was easily, I mean, I'm guesstimating here, but he had to be 350 pounds at least. I mean, I don't know
Yeah.
how to measure the
20-foot
weight
animal,
of a 20-foot animal. But me, another American guy that was about 6'3", and then 2 Amazonian dudes that are about 4 foot. We throw this thing on our shoulders and we hike it out, and then we did that about 40 other times that week.
You guys
with
You moved
animals.
40 of them total.
Not all of them were that big. The one that almost got ripped my leg off was the biggest one.
I mean, if you move 40 fucking caimans, bro, that's a mission.
Bro, we were.
I don't care how big they were.
I must have lost 15 pounds.
If I
that
moved
trip, 'cause
40
we're-
garden snakes in a week, I'd be fucking stoked.
if I took 40 little spiders out of this house, I'd be like, yo, I'm on my fucking
Yeah.
I'm on my primal shit right now. I smashed a spider in that wall last night, and I was
Yo,
like,
yeah. Yo, side note.
bitch, the fuck out of here.
Brian's laughing at everything.
Bro, I'm feeling great right now. That the tincture plus the fucking microdose, chef's kiss.
My better hit.
Here's some ASMR sounds for y'all.
I did eat a lot of food this morning.
All right, so that's fucking a crazy ass
That's
story
crazy.
in itself.
40 caimans, and
40 caimans.
damn.
Put in work.
Amazing place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's not even the fucking scariest story you got. The scariest story you got
Let's try and get up a few
wasn't
notches.
even for the wild boy. It wasn't even against the animals. This guy's battled grizzlies. He's battled caiman. He's been across the globe.
Scorpions.
But the craziest thing he ever had to face up against was a human being, a couple of them.
Yeah.
Let's dive into
Yeah.
it. Let's talk about the most scared you ever were in your life.
Well, there's 2 times, but one that sticks out more than the other is
What was the other one?
The time we almost went down in a Piper Cub in Alaska between. 2
Yo,
mountain
what about
ranges.
when COVID hit and you were in that plane and you had to just catch this plane? This story is next level
Fuck,
too,
dude. Yeah, so like
Dude.
right after all the caiman shit happened,
Yeah. Tell that
Tell 'em
story.
how you laugh.
Bro.
Fuck, that was-
This is
that
my
is probably a better.
This is my favorite Casey story of all time. Because then I was like, damn, you had to go through all this to get back home. So tell them what happened.
All right, so as we were just talking about that whole caiman effort and going fly fishing in the Amazon, it was sick, and we were supposed to be there for almost a month. You know, is what we predicted, and we had this private pilot that was going to pick us up at the end of our time out there. You know, it was going to be like, we got there, I think March 5th, something like that, and then we were going to leave the beginning of April. But March 5th, 2020, there's some shit
was a
about to go down.
Yeah, there was a dramatic time in
But
the history
dude-
of the world.
Dudes, I'm in the middle of the Amazon. Like, we're remote when we're in Alaska, but we can contact the outside world.
Middle of the Amazon during COVID.
We
Right
can
when COVID's
contact
about
the
to hit.
outside world when we're in Alaska. I thought that was a remote location.
Yeah.
Like y'all
we're
were
in
y'all were getting toilet paper. Casey was trying to find an airplane to get home.
Yeah.
No
Trying
shit,
to get out of the
dude.
jungle.
So,
I don't want to be stuck here.
I don't want to get eaten by a jaguar. I want to wipe my ass.
like,
What if I run out of toilet paper?
we're straight up living with people that have never seen a vehicle in their lives. Like they don't understand the concept of the Western world. Like, that's how remote we are.
Hey, that doesn't sound
And
too
they're
bad at this point.
incredible people, but that's neither here nor there. My sister somehow figures out the number to our satellite phone number, or to our satellite phone that we had in the Amazon, which was for emergency circumstances only, because it's expensive as hell. If you've ever used a sat phone to make a phone call, it can sometimes be $10 a minute. So like you gotta get your fucking point across quick.
Yeah.
So my sister must have reached out to one of the guys I was with out there, another American, and found out that his girlfriend was still in the U.S. And it was actually his cell phone. So she calls that girl, gets our satellite phone number from her, and then calls me probably 10, 15 times. And I got to pay for incoming calls too. So I'm like, who the fuck is calling us? So at the end of the day,
I'm just trying to hang out in the fucking jungle.
we're obviously we're deep. We're like, you know, we have our main base, which is like a bunch of cabinas, which is just like straw huts pretty much.
God, that's so sick.
We're out fly fishing all day long. We come back around like, I don't know, 6:30 to eat dinner, and we see all these phone calls. So I'm like, what the fuck is this? And it says 911, please call now, like was the message. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? So I call my sister on that I call the number that was on that, because I didn't recognize it at the time. And I'm like, hey, who is this? Who keeps calling me? And it's my sister. She's on the other end of the phone, and she's like, hey, Casey, just wanted to let you know that all international flights from Guyana back to the United States have been canceled due to coronavirus. The whole United States is freaking out right now.
Casey said, what's coronavirus?
Basically, I had no idea what was going on. It's like, it's kind of like in passing, people would be talking about it, but it didn't mean anything at the time.
Yeah.
And then my sister comes at me with like, we're stocking up guns. We've got so much food. I'm thinking the whole fucking next apocalypse is about to happen.
Yeah, a lot of people thought that.
So
fucking idiots.
but we're in the middle of the Amazon. So like we got to somehow get from the middle of the Amazon to the capital of Guyana, which is, probably a 6-month jungle hike. So we can't just get out, It's like we need to somehow contact a pilot to come pick us up. So we start calling left and right. Nobody's available. They shut down the airports. So we had to go deep and like call anybody who knows anybody that can fly a plane and come pick us up. Finally, we get in touch with somebody who has the guy's number who actually flew us out. And he's like, yeah, I can come get you, but I won't be able to get you for another 5-6 days. So we're like, okay, maybe this whole thing will chill out and we'll just see how it goes. But as the time progresses, things keep getting worse and worse and worse back in the United States. They're making more and more shutdowns, harder and harder to get back to the U.S. I mean, I was considering just saying, screw it, I won't go back to the U.S. I'll just bounce over to Costa Rica. But as the days passed, because I was corresponding with my sister throughout this time, as days passed, more countries kept getting shut down. And the interesting aspect is when you're in the Amazon of Guyana, to me, that's the safest place. Because when you get out to the cities, you're in a third world country with a bunch of people that don't have a lot of money. And this country was in political turmoil at the time because they just had an election where both parties won somehow. So coronavirus having nothing to do with it whatsoever. This place was not a smart place for a white person to be. Straight up. So anyway, we're calling like crazy. That guy, he did say, he's like, yeah, I can come get you in 5 days. The day before he's supposed to come pick us up, he's like, hey, they're not letting me come get you. Good luck. So my heart sunk, and I'm like, well, I guess we better start fucking living off the land. 100%.
Yes, we're living off the land out here in Guyana.
Like, and to be honest with you,
and the Caymans.
We considered it. We looked at
At
each
least
other.
they had those fish for you.
Right. I mean, me and my buddy were like, would it be that bad to be here for a few months? But I was like, we could probably get away with it, but like, we didn't know how bad this was going to get back in the
you had
US.
no idea what this
We had
virus
no
was going
idea.
to be
So
like. Could have been a year.
my friend wanted to stay. He was dead set on staying. I think he had some relationship issues. He saw a cute Amazonian girl. I think he was ready to stay.
Yeah, he's ready to stay.
Like, he was ready to just wash his whole life away. I'm dead serious. This
Yeah.
guy wanted to stay.
Damn.
But I'm like, bro, let's go back to the U.S., okay? We don't know what this is going to be like. Neither one of us have our yellow fever vaccines. The rainy season's coming, and the rainy season brings in all the diseases because of the mosquitoes.
Really?
So it's like there's a lot of different variables coming on to this. Anyway, we
during
called
a
that guy one
pandemic.
last time. He finally is like, okay, I think I can sneak you guys out. I'm going to come get you. I need you to be at the airstrip. And by airstrip, I mean there's a couple trees out of the way where he can land on a dirt fucking hill. So
That's gangster as fuck.
we take a 5-hour boat
is so
ride
great.
down river, and we get to the airstrip. We have no idea if he's actually going to come or not. I mean, we're in a third world country. This guy doesn't even have like a cell phone.
Yeah, that's like when you lose your phone at the club and you're like, call your homie off somebody else's phone, like, come pick me up. You're like, is he going to be able to find me? Am I going to be able to find him? But that's on steroids because they're like 5-hour boat trip down the thing. He's got to fly in and land on a random hill. Like, hopefully we link up at the same time.
Bro,
That's so insane.
so we get down there. He's like, I'll be there at 1100. Good luck, pretty much. Like, hopefully we see you. If not, who knows? So we end up getting to the airstrip, and we're waiting.
Find a vaccine.
We're waiting and we're waiting and we're waiting. It's I think we ended up getting to the airstrip at like 9 a.m. We left early as fuck because we did not want to miss this guy. So we're there at 9 a.m. 10 a.m. comes by, nobody. 11 a.m. comes by, nobody. Noon comes by, there's still nobody. And 1, 2, 3, nobody. And I'm like, dude, he's not coming. There's storms off in the east. We got to fly northeast to get back to Georgetown. And all of a sudden, out of this big, dark fucking cloud, like literally dark fucking cloud that's got lightning and shit going off, this little prop plane comes fucking surfing the clouds, just swaying like this the whole way through. And I'm like, this is going to be the worst. I almost didn't want to see him come through those clouds because that would mean that we have to get in that plane.
You know what would have been
And
crazy?
go right through the clouds.
You know what would have been crazy is if the fucking plane just gets shot by lightning.
Crashes. You watch it crash.
He's got no boat, no plane, no hope.
No hose.
No hinge.
So this plane lands. We fucking hustle. We throw all our shit in the back of the plane. He's like, we gotta go now. Shit is hitting the fan in Georgetown. And I'm like, shit's hitting the fan here, bro. You just flew through a fucking storm to get here. And I think it was a 150 prop plane, single engine prop plane.
Just a little dinker.
Just a little fella. And 2 dudes that are over 200 pounds with probably 150 pounds of baggage each are getting in this plane that's maybe allowed 500 extra pounds on it, which was fucking sketchy as it is because there's trees at the end of the runway. If you have too much weight in the plane, you're just going to fucking hit the trees. So
So many variables.
there's like 19 things running through my head. Like, well, hopefully we're light enough so we can get off the fucking dirt strip above the trees. Then I hope we can get through this fucking thunderstorm where we're flying IFR in a VFR plane. So regulations in the United States, if you're a VFR pilot, visual flying rules only. So you can't use instruments. And there's certain planes that you can't use instruments for. This is one of them. And this dude's flying with absolutely no vision through these clouds, this thunderstorm. And it was, I mean, I'm not shitting you. It felt like we were in a boat in a fucking hurricane. Like we were just up and down and all around.
That's not the vibe.
And because of the wind pushing at us, I think we were going maybe like 50 miles per hour. So we were in the air for a good 2.5 hours. And then all of a sudden it was just like daybreak. It's sunny. It's calm. The plane like chills out. And I'm like, fuck yes, finally. Like I was gripping the chairs so hard because I was actually in the back seat for this flight. I'm gripping the chairs so hard that like when I finally sat down and relaxed, my shoulder was cramping. Like my body hurt from how tense I was.
Tell them what you saw when it cleared up and then you looked down.
Well, bro, that's what I'm getting to is, so it's clear. You know, we don't have to worry about the thunderstorm behind us anymore. I can see Georgetown off in the distance, but there's something kind of weird about it. And there's fucking these little clouds coming out of it.
Oh, no.
And so I say to the pilot, I'm like, yo, what's going on? Like, is there like forest fires or something? And he's like, no, Georgetown's having lots of riots right now in a really broken accent. And
The liberals were going off again.
Yeah.
it was, yeah. So
We want Bernie. We want Bernie.
as we're flying into Georgetown, there's like literally buildings burning from riots going on. And I see cars like fucking crashing into each other, like people flipping shit. And this is also because of both the political turmoil and coronavirus. People are fucking terrified that they're not going to have food.
They're trying to get out.
So this whole third world country is going off. So we land, and I mean, it's a nice airport, like for a third world country. It's not that scary or anything. Everyone there seems pretty chill. So we can chill out again. We finally land. You know, we're back in civilization. I mean, fucking scary civilization. We can hear gunshots going off all over the place, but it did feel a little bit safer than being in the plane through the thunderstorm. So we go to the hotel that we stayed at before we left out to the Amazon. And I walk up to the desk and I'm like, hey, we're looking to see if there's any availability to fly out of the country. We're Americans. We were out deep in the Amazon the last few weeks.
I'm
and
American.
she's like, you're an American? And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, you need to leave now. And I'm like, okay, like where? She's like, you need to get to the airport. Your last plane going back to the United States leaves in 45 minutes. I was like, oh, okay, no worries. How far away is the airport? She's like, an hour and a half away. My fucking friend's getting money for the pilot because my card wasn't working because it was international issues. So he's got to go find $900 US to pay the pilot that just flew. Basically, risked
From
his
what?
life.
An ATM or what?
Who risked his life to come save us from the Amazon and get us back to Georgetown.
It's only $900 to get out of the Amazon jungle.
Yeah,
bro.
Good to know that in the future.
Yeah, for next time you're out there.
I'm gonna be with you if I'm out there.
So like you'd think that the height of the whole story was over with, but no, we got to somehow make it to a flight that's about to take off in 45 minutes in an hour and a half of a distance. So my buddy, he's over at the ATM. Neither one of us have service, so I'm just like, do I leave his ass? Like, because there's a cab right here. I can take it to the airport. I was back and forth on it for about 30 seconds. I was like, fuck it. No, I'll wait a little bit longer. Off in the distance, we're like in the airport or the hotel lobby. I see him coming. And I run out there. I'm like, get your fucking ass in gear, dude. We got to get the fuck to the airport. He's like, I got to get my laptop from a friend's house. And I'm like, you sure as shit are not getting your fucking laptop right now. We need to get the fuck out of this country.
You better call Steve Jobs.
Because it's one thing if you're stuck in the Amazon out there, because we had food, we had water, we had fresh water. There's nobody to worry about. Like, obviously there's some natural disasters that could take place, like fucking yellow fever and shit like that. But in the third world country, and you're a white dude in
Your ransom money.
Georgetown, yeah, bro.
They're capturing you. They're finding out
We
your
have-
family, and they're gonna charge whatever they get you.
We have nowhere to stay either.
Yeah.
So it's like we either catch this fucking plane or we are fucked.
yeah. Fuck that laptop.
Fuck the laptop.
Like
I'm
Joe
like,
Biden-
bro, I will
like-
literally buy you a new laptop. Get the fuck in the
Like
car.
Joe Biden's son said, "Fuck that laptop."
Yeah, no kidding. So actually, we ended up knowing this one taxi driver. He heard me talking to Kyle, my buddy that I was there with. He's like, hop in the back. I'll take you there as quick as I can. He actually works for the airline that we're flying out on. He's calling them, trying to slow them down. Nobody's answering or anything. But he is, I'm not shitting you. This guy's going 120 miles per hour in back roads where there's fucking, it's still rioting. There's fucking people running all over the place. Cars burning, fucking buildings burning down. It's insane.
They look like Portland.
Yeah. It looked about the same as Portland, probably around the same time.
They're
too.
like punching each other, and then they're like, "Hey, you got any meth though?" And they're like, "Yeah." And they hook each other up, start punching each other again.
They're just talking to mannequins and shit.
Yeah.
So this dude's ripping about 120 miles per hour down the road. And I'm like, okay, we might actually make it. This guy's going double the speed limit. We might be a little bit late, but there's a chance we can still catch it. And in the fucking rear view mirror, what do you think we fucking see?
The po-po.
The fucking popo. And this guy's like, don't say a fucking word, because we're white, obviously. Like, there's a lot of corruption down there. They could fucking take everything we have on us. I have over $12,000 worth of camera gear.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck me, this could not get any fucking worse. So the cop comes up. The guys, they actually speak English there. It's British Guyana. The Britons colonized it. I don't know, back in.
Chill, mate. Where are you headed right now?
I mean, no. They definitely don't sound like that.
They're just like Native
You going to the airport? Yeah. No, you're not. What's in your bag? Give me what's in your bag.
Our taxi
Camera
driver.
guy, eh? You funny guy, eh?
Funny guy,
Dude, keep going, keep going.
The
We
taxi
gotta
driver.
like crack some jokes here every once in a while.
The taxi driver ends up fucking solving the problem. He ends up getting out of the van and goes to the back and talks to this cop. So I don't even know if the cop saw that we were in there, but he solved the problem. I don't know how much money he gave him, but hops back in the car. We rip it the rest of the way. We get to the airport. We don't even know where this flight's going. It's just going to the United States. We don't actually have a ticket for this flight. So we get there, we check in. I mean,
It's like third world country. You don't even need a ticket. You just walk in.
Like, I mean,
I am
it's
Casey.
Where are we going? United States.
no, like I don't actually think I paid for the flight.
Dang, that's crazy.
So like we
I'm
get up
Casey.
to the ticketing desk and they're like, "Did you have a flight for the previous flight?" And I'm like, "Yep, I did." And she's like, "Okay, perfect. We'll just put your bags through to JFK." And I'm like, "Fuck, I'm going to New York right now." Like, I don't know anybody in New York
Home
City.
of the coronavirus.
Yeah.
The next battle.
But somehow we ended up making that fucking plane. We got to New York City. I spent the night in the airport that night.
Damn, bro.
Didn't know where I was going to go. I mean, I had a place in Denver at the time, but
Yeah.
there were no flights within the next few days to Denver because the whole
Shit.
world was fucking going crazy. But yeah, man,
Dude, that is intense.
that was a lot more of
Captain
an
Coke.
experience and an adventure than I was bargaining for, dude.
Yeah.
Like I thought I was going for the wilderness experience, but
Dude, you got everything out there.
bro, that was
That shit
insane.
is crazy. So,
It's the wildest way to kick off coronavirus.
dude,
Yeah, and then welcome home. Everything's shut down,
Yeah.
and there's no jobs here anymore.
yeah,
Sick.
yeah,
We did have
Fucking
curfew.
sick.
yeah.
No jobs, nobody's hiring, everyone's staying at home, and you stocked up on toilet paper.
There you
Yeah.
go. That's how I got back from Guyana during a fucking global pandemic.
Yeah, and then now you just work in Alaska 4 months out of the year. It's a little bit more relaxed. You're hanging out with some bears, hanging out with some pretty cool people, and you're giving them these sick tours. And you're about to have your pilot's license in February,
Yep.
so you can fly your own plane solo February.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
shit's sick.
I'll be able to fly myself out of the
Yeah,
Amazon. next
exactly.
time.
Now you're gonna be the one rescuing people
Yeah.
out of the jungle.
Dude, that's a dream job. I would really like to run rescue missions.
That shit
Pilot.
would be. Yeah, I mean, you've done it.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah,
how
we've
to
done that.
handle that situation better than anybody that I know of, anyways.
Right. I mean, I can think of a lot more badass dudes like anybody in the military or fucking a lot of other
Yeah.
categories.
Well,
but-
they use guns. It's cheating.
Right, it's true. Either way. Yeah,
Can't
bro.
carry an M16 around in Guyana and just be cool with it.
Well,
but-
I'm surprised.
I'm sure some. I'm saying like a white person.
Yeah, true.
They'd be like, "Yo, what's good? What are you doing?" I don't know though. I don't know the rules. But that's crazy, bro. That's probably one of the
Yeah,
craziest
that shit
stories
got
I've
my
ever
heart
heard.
pumping thinking about that, man. It just felt like we were in a high speed chase, like trying to catch that last flight.
Just
out,
one
'cause
thing
there was
after
so
another.
many questions. Like we did not know what was gonna happen at
Yeah.
all, and it was just like, fuck it, you go with the flow. You can freak out and panic, but it's not gonna do anything.
Right. Yeah. One thing after another.
Yeah.
Just take it out. So that's lit. That's fucking crazy. So,
Maybe.
yeah, that's Casey the GOAT. And then he came out here in Denver, stayed out here for 3 months. We kicked it, went to some Airbnbs, had a good time,
Slept
caught
at my
up.
boy Brian's house for like 3 weeks straight.
Hey.
Hey.
Literally, you were on the couch for
Literally,
3
yeah.
weeks straight.
Yeah, I was living with both of these dudes.
Yeah.
That was so much fun though.
It was a blast playing NHL just like the high school days.
Like a bunch of kids.
Yeah.
I needed to chill out a bit
Yeah.
after that experience. Bro.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. Dude, I would not leave a couch for a month if I went through all that. I'd
We
be
didn't.
like, going to-
Remember?
Yeah. I'm just saying, if I had to do
Yeah.
the same thing, if I went through that, I would be stationed. I'd be like DoorDash, weed, video games, and hopefully a girl likes me.
But that's those highs I'm trying to chase, you know, instead of
Yeah.
getting fucked up on drugs and drinking all the time.
Yeah, you got to be a rescue guide or rescue whatever.
Oh
Fuck.
yeah, I mean that rescue pilot would be
Yeah.
so sick.
Yeah, you got to go on those missions. I feel like that's the pinnacle endorphin release that you're looking for.
That's what I'm going for, bro.
That's crazy. Cool. So
Fucking A, bud.
fucking A, dude. That's
Fucking
the
A,
craziest shit that's ever been said on this podcast.
Yeah. We're just gonna call this episode "Story Time with Casey Coop."
Yeah, with Captain with the adventures with the hopeless romantic.
Okay.
Dude, why do you think you're a hopeless romantic?
Oh
I'm just kidding. Shit, but yeah, that's crazy, dog.
All right, we're back. We only got about
We're back.
15 more
we
minutes
got 15 more minutes to wrap up
before
this
Casey
crazy.
has to hop on another plane to the Amazon.
Yep.
But
Oh god, dude, that'd be a lot right now.
He's actually going to Chicago.
Chicago.
Chicago, home for the holidays. So what do you think, Casey? You think you're gonna be doing this shit your whole life, just traveling around different places? You ever gonna be stationary, family life? What do you think about all those concepts?
So, what I've been working towards over the last couple of years is creating short-term trips for my clients out of Alaska. So, you know, I do 4 or 5 trips a year down to Guyana, Colombia,
Just other fishing
Australia.
trips, cool
Yes.
places to take them.
stuff like that, but more short-term travel because, like, you know, this shit's fun, but it's gonna run out. I don't want to be living overseas. Like, I want to have a base, a house, maybe even a wife and some kids.
Little
you
girly
know?
girl.
You know?
What's up, shawty? Hey, make me some dinner.
But yeah, no, it's addicting, and I will have to get used to a little bit more of a mundane life. I think at some point, but not too mundane. Like I will
There's still gonna be adventure
always
involved.
be adventurous.
Yeah.
But I do want to pull it back a little bit. Not yet. Give it 3 years, but
Yeah.
probably around like 31.
Dirty 30, settle down.
Yeah.
Dirty 30, start to taper off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
start moving that direction.
Start to slow down a little bit.
Yeah.
Until then, though.
Until then, no, we're going full throttle.
Yep.
But then again, coronavirus got us locked down in the U.S. So
Yep. True.
here we are.
True, bro.
Yeah. Is it really?
But I will say that like the downsides of living constantly traveling is it's really hard to get a core group of homies. Like, you know, I've been in Denver. Denver's where I've spent the most time out of anywhere.
This is your home base for sure.
Yeah, right now it is. I mean, I don't even live in Denver, but it's my home base.
It feels like home.
Right.
When you
'cause
come
it's where
back,
the
we're
homies
like,
are,
you're back,
you
yeah.
guys. Like,
Yep.
you know, this is a place where I can actually feel. Obviously, I have my family, my mom and dad and sister, but you know, I really started to miss the companionship, hanging out with some bros, you know, chilling. But
Yeah, playing some chill.
that's the one thing I miss the most about traveling all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, cake pops, dude.
This fucking killed my asshole. They gave me bad farts.
Yeah. All right. I got a good question.
Oh shit.
What do you think is your defining characteristic?
I think you know the answer to this just about
Defining
as well
characteristic?
as I do, which is intensity, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very intense. I would
Very
definitely agree
intense.
with this. Everything you do in life is
Intense.
intense.
Yeah.
like,
And that's a good and a bad thing, I think, in a lot of different areas. Like, I'm full balls to the wall with just about everything I
whatever
do.
you're doing.
Balls deep. I mean,
Yeah.
for real though, like that was me with drugs. You know,
Yeah.
balls to the wall. Like,
And now you're what, 6
full
years
throttle,
sober?
and
7 years?
I'll be 6 years sober in March.
Dude, that's so sick.
Yeah,
That's fucking
it's been
gangster.
a long time.
That's dope.
But I mean, those have been the best years of my life.
Yeah.
You know, easily,
All right.
easily.
I got another question. What if you could tell our viewers one thing? I feel like most people our age, more stationary, don't travel a lot. What are what's like one piece of advice you could say from all these crazy experiences you have to like kind of just encourage these people to live a more adventurous lifestyle?
If I were on the other end of this,
Yo, think about all the people that don't leave their hometown.
No, yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
give them some good advice.
I could see myself watching this exact video and thinking, man, that would be fucking awesome, but I'm afraid of everything.
Yeah.
And that was me. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I was anxious. I had social anxiety. I was afraid to fly. You know, I was just afraid of a lot of shit when I was a kid and growing up. And honestly, I think just facing your fears, again, it sounds corny, but like the more you face those fears and take those jumps, the less you're afraid of them. I mean, straight up. Like, I used to be fucking terrified of heights. Now I'm about to be a
planes. Yeah.
You know, so
It's nuts.
just fucking go and do it. If you're getting bored or you're tired of the mundane of your life, like,
Or you need a switch up of environment. Like Casey obviously was super intense in all the things he was doing beforehand and had to get away from those. But like we all have those demons wherever we're at. And like sometimes to get away from those things, you need to put yourself in a new environment. That's
Brand
the
new
best
environment.
way to like test that out and find out who you really are. You probably found out a lot about yourself through this journey, just traveling around by yourself. Because you're the only
Absolutely.
consistent variable in all these situations.
exactly. And you really get to learn who you really are. Nobody can define you when they don't know who you are. You're the only, exactly like you said, you're the only
Consistent
constant.
thing, yeah.
So when you just take yourself and you plop yourself in a completely new country where you don't know anybody, yes, it's fucking terrifying,
Yeah.
but you force yourself to meet people and become social. And I say I was socially anxious as a kid. I mean, I was like afraid to talk to girls for sure, but like I was always one of the homies. Having said that, talking to strangers is a hard thing to do.
Dude, for real.
But you plop yourself in a foreign country and just start talking to people. The connections you make are insane. I mean, there is no chance in hell that if you talked to the 18-year-old version of myself right now and told him that I'd be doing what I'm doing now, there's no fucking way I'd believe you, because I'd be like, I don't even know how to start or how to get there.
As somebody who knew Casey at age 18, I'd be like, you're fucking high.
No,
Yeah.
exactly.
For sure.
If I were an outsider looking into my life at the age of 18, I would think that dude's going to be a Skid Row bum for the rest of his life. That's
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I was a fucking alcoholic loser.
You could have been a janitor, at least.
Maybe, yeah, actually, I probably would have been a janitor, but like
No,
at some point you just say,
I knew you would have figured it
Shit's
out.
got to change.
Bro, I knew in all seriousness, as same for me. I knew I was going to figure it out eventually. I knew you were going to figure it out eventually because at the end of the day, we compete, we played sports, we win, we're good. Like that, we took that mentality and like made something out of it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like I would have never guessed that you'd be a pilot or doing
Traveling
all these
across
crazy,
the world, doing these crazy parts.
Like that's the cool part. It's
Yeah.
like I knew eventually you always figure it out because we're young, we're idiots, we don't have a sense of direction, our home lives were unstable. Like there's a lot of variables that never gave us the answers to figure our shit out. But the things that you're doing are like, what the fuck? Like
but
that's the next level
The other thing that I want to stress a lot is it's really not that hard at all.
Right.
Like it's not.
The hardest part is buying that first plane ticket to Australia.
Yeah, just
Exactly.
doing it and then not thinking about it.
And obviously there were a lot of downfalls through that journey, but it's like you got to take
But now you're living life in an inspiring way that inspires you.
Mm-hmm.
And I love my life. I did not love.
You live a cool ass life.
Live one of the coolest lives that we know, like, straight up. It's
but I
fucking
didn't
sick.
used to. You know, it's like
Yeah.
I would drink all the time. I mean, I had a 9-to-5 job.
Yeah.
Just get blackout drunk every day.
I think a big lesson that I'm getting from this is just like it's never too late to reinvent yourself. Like who you've been up to this point in your life, if you're not happy with it and you've been doing things that you don't like doing, you're living a life in a non-fulfilling way, like take a chance, put yourself out of that environment that's led you to all those decisions, relocate yourself, put yourself in that new environment and be who the fuck you actually are and who you want to be.
Exactly. And that's it's so cool to learn who the fuck you really are. And, you know, because other people are mirrors and they tell you who you are. So it's like you grow up with all your homies, you're going to be that person around your homies.
Yep.
You know, you separate yourself from that. You can actually find out who you really are. And that's when I realized, like, I'm not an alcoholic, drug addict, loser. You know, like,
That was your environment.
that was my environment. And it was nobody's fault but my own. I don't want it to be like, oh, it was my friends or anything.
But
Because they're all doing good.
Yeah.
And I turned into back then I was fucking up hard, but like, right. I was, exactly. I do everything intensely, but man, I'm so glad that life played out the way it has so far. And like, you know, life is short.
Yeah.
You die
Do what the
any
fuck
day,
you
bro.
want to do.
Yeah. So
Be who you want to be, do what you want to do, put yourself in uncomfortable circumstances and fucking figure it out. Go figure out who you are.
you know, one of my friends just recently said to me, well, we went for a flight and it was really turbulent. It was just me and him, and we were flying around, and both of us, I mean, our buttholes were puckered. It was fucking scary.
Y'all ever had a puckered bow before?
We were flying around the Eastern Sierras, bro.
I've never heard anyone say that before. Puckered bow, bro. Tight.
Bro, getting a fucking prop plane in 40 mile
Dude,
per
I'm
hour
about to in
winds.
February, bro.
Yeah.
I'm coming out there. We're
So
doing it.
we land the
I'm
plane
eating
and
mushrooms.
my buddy goes, my buddy said to me, he's like, that was second degree fun. And I was like, what are you talking about? Second degree fun. He's like, it's the fun that you experience. Wait, all right, we'll scratch that. So second degree fun is, it's fun after you're done with it. A lot of my life experiences weren't fun in the moment.
They're fun in hindsight.
Looking
But
back
I look
at it,
back on it and I'm like, God, that was fucking amazing. And I got to live that life and I got to survive those things.
yeah.
Instead of being like, man, I wish I would have done this when I was in my
Yeah.
20s. I wish I would have done this when I was in my 30s. Or, you know, it's all those things that we wish we would have done. But like, how many times do we all need to hear it? Like, just fucking go and do it. Like, if you don't like the situation you're in, nobody's going to change it for you except for you. And fuck it. Like, just do it for yourself. I mean, this is the one life you get. And it's not as hard as it seems like it is.
Yeah, it's really
pretty
not.
fucking
And
easy.
human beings like to help out other human beings too. Just think about that one girl that he met at a bar one night. Shapeshifted his entire course out.
Rerouted his whole life.
Yeah, exactly. And like
looking back on it, yeah, it really did.
yeah,
I mean,
exactly. Like that
'cause-
was one person. People love helping people out all the time.
'cause-
If you fly from America and you go to another country and you meet somebody out somewhere publicly, like obviously after COVID's over, this is going to be more of a possible thing. But like after you go to and put yourself in a new environment and you tell somebody like, oh, I'm from America, you know, I just wanted a new start, like change of pace, they're going to be like, oh, you got to do this, you got to do that, you got to meet this person, this place is amazing. And then you're going to meet people and it's naturally going to work out.
Well, and the other thing that people don't realize is the world's not a scary place.
It's absolutely not.
The world is a beautiful
Stop
place
watching
with beautiful
CNN.
people, and that you're not going to get murdered. You're not going to get raped. You know, it's like bad things can happen. I've seen them happen. But if you're smart and you surround yourself with good people, you're going to be fine.
Yeah.
Like nothing's going to happen. I mean, the same thing that could happen to you when you're traveling to Central America could happen to you when you're walking down the street in Chicago or Denver. You know,
Same. Someone got shot. We live in the nicest neighborhood in Denver.
Yeah.
And someone got shot 2 streets down. Like,
don't let fear run
Yeah.
your fucking life. Like, honestly, at the end of the day, if you don't let fear run your life, you're going to do everything you want to do. I think. I mean,
yeah.
like, how else do you say it?
Yeah, put yourself out there and let the universe like run its course. Let's see what happens. And a cool thing I was just thinking about when we were just talking about that girl that helped you out, like think about how that one decision for that girl, like emailing, getting you an agent, putting you in that position, that completely changed the experience you had in Australia. Like think if you just stayed on the dock the whole time, didn't make any money and ended up having to go back to America, you probably would be a lot more nervous to take chances like that and again in the future. But
For sure.
she set that circumstance up. It went good. You're like, hey, if I just put myself out there, good things are going to happen to me. Brian lives his life in a very similar way. Like, put myself out there, good things are going to happen to me. I'm just going to fucking take chances and roll the dice. And it's like just having those people. That's why we have to be those people in other people's life that help give them. Like, if you see somebody like that just needs one thing, that's why you just go out of your way and do the small things for other people. We're
Be that nudge.
we're that nudge in other people's lives, keeping them on path and leading them to where they need to be in.
And if you have a positive mindset, people are going to see that too. You know?
Yeah, just be fun to be around. Be curious, ask some questions, get to know them. Like,
But life can be so easy when you stop worrying.
it can
You
be.
know? Like,
and fun and fulfilling, and a lot of unexpected things can happen. For sure. I mean, think about talking to Mike, Zach.
Oh yeah, we got to talk at the mic on this thing.
Zach's been a hiatus on this episode.
Hey, so I know Casey, but I didn't know a lot of these stories, so I hope you guys find it as amazing as I did. But I think one of the biggest things like I took from the story is, although he got helped out in Australia, he took the risk in the first place, and like it probably wasn't pretty or beautiful at first, but he was taking the risk, he was doing his thing, and obviously opportunity found him. So that's what I think will happen in your life if you live a
Create
life
your
just
own
like
life.
that.
Damn, that's a bar.
yeah.
You know?
And honestly, the stories I was telling probably make people not want to travel. But like, I was seeing. I was,
that makes me want to travel so much more, bro.
Yeah, all right, good.
It makes me want to just like go out there and experience those things
Yeah.
and be with Casey for the first couple for sure. That way I know I'm going to survive and be on a podcast to talk about him. But
There's two sides though. This dude is a fisherman, a guide. Like he's working to make the environment a better place. Like he's going on these missions, and like that's not what traveling is. That's what his profession is. He's an expert in this field. Like
Right.
he is certified to be in these positions to
In the
catch
wild.
alligators. Like that's not
he's
traveling.
not certified to catch alligators.
I
That's
mean,
kind of just
but I
training.
have
He's trained.
experience.
He's
I am
trained.
trained.
He's
Yeah.
trained.
I
He
was
know-
trained in Australia for that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, bro. He's
Oh,
like
okay.
legit. He's allowed to do that, like with his expertise. Like you,
Trained
when we
alligator
mean traveling, we mean like booking an Airbnb,
Right.
Or like going somewhere where there's a resort, or like going somewhere
Doing a
where
crazy long hike.
you
Doing
can-
a 14
yeah,
there. Do it.
yeah.
Hey, whatever your comfort level's at, we all got different levels. Just like take
But,
that
like-
first a chance.
How much scarier is it though to think about when you're laying in your deathbed at 85 years old and thinking about all those chances you didn't take? I mean,
yeah, that's the worst.
that's
Dude,
terrifying to
dude,
me.
for real. We were just talking about this 2 episodes ago. Same
you
exact
really?
quote, bro. Same exact quote. My biggest fear is not being able to have the craziest story to tell when I'm 80 years old and my grandkids are pulling on my leg asking me to talk to them. Like that is my biggest worry, is not being able to look back and be like, man, how much time do you have? Like I want to be able to tell them the craziest shit.
Absolutely.
We
dude.
have
I
to.
could not agree more.
We have to.
Yeah, dude.
Dude, when we're fucking old and we can't get our dicks hard, we're going to be like
So
right
hey,
next to each other. Like, hey, remember when you got out of that plane and got on? And you're going to be like, hey. And I'm going to be like, yeah.
exactly in those voices as well.
Yeah. Hey, have you seen my dentures?
But for real though, nobody's gonna live your life for you.
They're
you know?
not. They're not.
Oh yeah. So go fucking live your life, people. This was story time with Casey Coop. He's coincidentally got to go catch another plane.
He's
gotta
catch a flight.
yeah.
About to catch a flight. Thank you guys for having me. Love you boys.
Yeah,
This
this
is
was sick.
Fuck yeah.
the Denver squad.
See y'all
Yeah.
next time
Fuck
on the,
you.
on the
See
Free
y'all.
Smoke Podcast.
Free Smoke Podcast. Yeah, tune in and go follow Casey on IG. This guy's practically a Natural Geographic fucking Instagrammer.
We'll tag him.
We'll tag him. So
Thank you guys.
Thanks,
Love
guys.
you fellas.
bang.